Hello and welcome to your daily dose of Satoshi's news. Today's date is Sunday, the 6th of April 2025. The year BSV comes alive. Experience the best of both worlds today at betbitcoinsv.com. The best casino and sports betting on chain. Have a look Flutter in private using the original protocol and genuine Bitcoin. But let's see what we got today. You today says JPMorgan issues dire Bitcoin warning as BTC price plunges. That was on, I think that's 4th or 3rd, must be 3rd of April, I think it was. We're going to go through this while crypto bros chase meme coins. Deloitte uses BSV for document verification. We'll read through that article there. Somebody's pointed out about the BSV order book being manipulated, so we'll have a look at that. Honestly, we've had some great fun since the Neil Oliver repost of my tweet just saying interesting. The battles going on between the shitcoiners and the genuine Bitcoiners are quite funny. We'll go over this supposedly leaked email for Pasky. Whether it's genuine or fake, I enjoyed reading it. It was funny. We'll also mention here about some of the evidence that the shitcoiners just have trouble dealing with. This is a great post here, calling shitcoiners out for their own hypocrisy. Got this article here by Cointelegraph wanting us to check out Coreum, which we will most definitely, because I've already done some research on it. That was the article. This was the Medium post that's linked to it, and then this is their website. So again, found the found the silver bullet, found the smoking gun on their first page. Hilarious. Got some posts here from CSW. We'll check the transaction sizes, some 365 days of Bitcoin history, and then that'll be the end of the show. Right, let's get into it.
See Satoshi like a cowboy in the West, riding on the blockchain that they call the very best. 1 million strong, them transactions flying free. Just wait for the Terra node, you'll surely see.
Alrighty, here we go. So today says JPMorgan issues dire Bitcoin warning as BTC price plunges. JPMorgan has warned that Gregcoin's main narrative is crumbling. Oh, that's gotta hurt. Yeah, because it's a lie and it doesn't make sense. It will crumble. In its most recent report, banking giant JPMorgan has noted that Gregcoin's digital gold narrative is falling apart due to the high levels of correlation between the leading cryptocurrency and US equities. This comes after the cryptocurrency has slipped nearly 6% amid the ongoing tariff mayhem. As reported by You Today, Canadian billionaire Frank Grustra recently urged Gregcoin evangelists to drop the narrative that cryptocurrency is a digital version of gold. According to Grustra, Gregcoin tends to perform as a typical risk asset. Gregcoin has dramatically underperformed gold in the first quarter of 2025, with risk assets taking a beating due to the drama surrounding global trade tensions. Earlier today, Gregcoin plunged intraday low to $81,332, according to CoinGecko. The cryptocurrency has dropped by more than 6%. Meanwhile, the tech-savvy Nasdaq 100 index has plunged by more than 5%. Nicolazo. I'm going to destroy that last name. Pane Grieg Zoglo, a managing director of JPMorgan, has opined that gold is currently benefiting from the debasement trade. Earlier this Thursday, Mike McGlone, chief commodities analyst at Bloomberg, opined that Bitcoin is proof that it is more leveraged beta than gold. Oh, yeah. People are starting to notice the bullshit is really what that article was saying. So, Vera Meta has said here, while crypto bros chase meme coins, Deloitte uses BSV for document verification, UAE stores national records on BSV, and Uniswap powers supply chains with BSV. Yeah, excellent. So check this out. When was this article written? So date on it. Can't see a date on it, but anyway. So they've said here, the blockchain practice, a specialist team dedicated to applying distributed ledger technologies. Is your business ready for blockchain? Imagine a shared computer accessible to anyone. A single source of truth. Oh, sounds like Uniswap. Within which a single source of truth within which to store events, ownership and activities, and to execute workflow involving multiple parties without the use of separate systems and databases and with no reconciliation required. It will change the way digital services are provided across all industries globally. Blockchain changes the rules. Prepare for distribution or prepare to disrupt. What can you do with blockchain? So they've got the Internet of Things, gambling, reward, loyalty, incentive schemes, insurance, asset ownership, very good. Chain of custody, workflow management, digital voting, regulatory reporting, medical R&D reporting, KYC and AML compliance, distributed trading, notoriety services, data storage, ticketing, audit, automated stock control, supply chain management, clearing and settlement, crowdfunding, programmable legal contracts, digital identity assurance, financial asset management, digital rights management, tax automation, payments, it's all good. The Deloitte blockchain practice, innovation and ideation, strategy development, product development, prototyping. Development teams within a global delivery network, 500, our thinking. Are these all different ones? All right, but that only BSV is capable of doing all those things. Let's have a look at this. So this post here from Smorg Builder. He says, this is the average BSV order book now. Who has 0.2 BSV or 33 BSV filled sell order at this price? Nobody. This is straight manipulation. It's sort of 29.1, 29.2, 29.3. And remember, the price is set by the 24-hour supply and demand. But if the supply and demand is set in fiat currency and fiat currency is manipulated, you're going to manipulate the price. But you can only manipulate the price for so long because the supply of BSV is fixed. That's it. If you ain't got it, can't sell it. And you can only buy what somebody else is willing to sell. So if nobody's got any to sell, and if demand outstrips supply, because a use case is developed or spotted, they won't be able to do it. So it's just when the BTC is say, the market has decided. Absolute BS, utter BS. The market doesn't know diddly squat right now, literally nothing, nada. So it is totally manipulated. But what they're doing is they're manipulating the price down, which is actually extremely advantageous if you're smart and you know the true value of BSV. So they're doing you a favour, Make hay while the sun shines, as they say. That's what I'd do. Here we go. Truth Machine. This was awesome. So this was in response to my tweet there with shitcoiners just not really getting it. Truth Machine said, "Look at this artard." And have a listen to this.
Of all of those things, I think...
Here we go.
Of all of those things...
This was Andreas Antonopoulos answering questions about will the 21 coins be fixed. So the question was, is there any truth to the argument that Bitcoin will have more than 21 million coins? The claim is the security model breaks when there is only transaction fees. What are your thoughts on this? Well, again, there won't be transaction fees because it's got a 1 megabyte block cap. And people can't use it as a medium of exchange because there's no signatures in the transactions. So let's listen to this BS that he's going to talk here.
Of all of those things, I think many of those other parameters would change long before the 21 million cap. Meaning that if Bitcoin's current model of consensus didn't work if you keep the $21 million cap, then what would be dropped would be Bitcoin's current model of consensus, and Bitcoin would change to something else, perhaps a proof of stake system, perhaps some other thing, who knows? But it would be far more likely to change the proof of work algorithm and use something else than it would be to change the 21 million cap. I don't think that's changing. And of all of those things, I think many of those other...
I mean, listen to that. He's just like, of all of the things that are going to change, that might be the last thing to change. The algorithm might change. It might go to proof of stake. There is no competition in proof of stake. There is no opportunity cost in maintaining the stake, which is why it's a centralized system. You need an economically competitive system, and he admits it straight away. Yeah, the model breaks down. They're gonna have to change it. They want proof of stake. Once you've got your stake, once you've made the stake, literally that's it. You know, there's no opportunity cost in maintaining it. That's why it's not competitive. That's why they want it. That's why they want to break the model. So they've got it all in their plans. They know exactly what their intentions are. Break the model, change the supply, all that crap. They do not want it. They've purposely designed it so they're going to have to change because they couldn't have it the way it was, because it literally takes away the economic power and dominance of the central banks that pays this shill.
Like, there's just no reason to to bake in these kinds of assumptions into the system and risk a $1 trillion asset for comparatively so little money. Like, if you're taking, if you have $1 trillion asset and you're spending like 0.1% of its value every year to make sure it's secure, that's fine. That's absolutely fine. And, there's no reason to go, to lock ourselves into going less than that.
Yeah, but some would argue that it will no longer be $1 trillion asset the moment when it adds inflation.
Yeah, and those people are stupid. Like those.
Oh, look, he's talking about adding inflation. And he's like, oh yeah, those people are stupid when you add inflation. How can you inflate the supply unless you have a central control of it? Literally, it's utterly ridiculous what he's just said there.
People are just running off memes. In any rational world, when you look at $1 trillion asset that has value for various reasons, if the $1 trillion asset costs you 0.1% to go and maintain every year, that's fine. Like, that's completely fine. No one's going to worry about that. Gold costs money to go keep in a safe. And that doesn't stop gold from being very valuable.
It doesn't cost anything to keep it in a safe if you own the safe. That's the whole point. Like literally, is Russia or China going to use BTC if it's these goons who are inflating the supply? I don't think so. Honestly, it's so stupid. The argument is ridiculous. And he's the one calling the other ones, oh, those people are stupid. No, mate, look in the mirror. Then you might find out who's stupid. Good grief. Right, let's get on to this. I love this email here. So Plasky has just added to that. He said, this league was sent to me by a well-known former BTC proponent. I can't verify its validity. He told me he grew disillusioned with what he saw and left the group. He wishes to remain anonymous for obvious reasons. So still no proof yet. But let's read this. This is great. So internal. It says, look, we've got to tighten things up. The chatter is growing louder. More people are starting to piece things together. And it's only a matter of time before they connect the dots and realise BSV lines up with the original protocol. I mean, yeah, it does sound a little bit staged, but hey ho, still funny. We've spent years building a narrative around BTC and we can't afford any cracks now. Keep associating BSB with drama, with Craig, with chaos. The more noise we generate, the less chance anyone actually figures this out. Also, make sure Reddit mods keep squashing any serious discussion around BSV. Same for Twitter, X report, shadow ban, whatever it takes. The moment we lose control of the narrative, it's over. We didn't come this far just to lose it all. Forward this to Hidden X Algo. Silence dissent, eyes open, sincerely, MN. I mean, even if the email is fake, it still sounds like that's exactly what they're doing. Literally, if they're not saying it or writing it, they're certainly thinking it. That's exactly what they're thinking. So, yeah, I would say that's still valid from that perspective. So, going on about just fighting all these shitcoiners. Palsky doing a great job here. Sending them all this evidence. Not that they're ever going to read it, but he said here, it appears that there is significant evidence to support the claim that Craig Wright is Satoshi Nakamoto, the inventor of Bitcoin. Here are some of the reasons why. Dr. Craig S. Wright testified under oath that he is Satoshi, the inventor of Bitcoin. He owns copyright over the Bitcoin white paper and the Bitcoin database. He won a US court case over the 1.1 million Bitcoins belonging to Satoshi, and the jury found no fraud related to Craig Wright. He won a UK judgment against Bitcoin.org to remove the Bitcoin white paper from its site. He won a UK defamation suit on all counts against blogger and podcaster Peter McCormack, who stated that Craig Wright was fraudulently claiming to be Satoshi Nakamoto. Gavin Andreessen, the closest person to Satoshi, and Craig Wright said Craig Wright fits the personality of Satoshi, and that he also signed for him with the first Bitcoin block. Gavin has not retracted his statement. Neville Sinclair, former BDO director, testified that Craig Wright presented a project to BDO for a new digital currency secured by cryptography and nodes, which Sinclair believes laid the groundwork for Bitcoin. Stephen Matthews, former chief information officer at Centerbet, testified that he had witnessed Craig Wright develop the technology and concepts that became the foundation of Bitcoin. Robert Jenkins, a former colleague of Craig Wright, testified that in the early 2000s, Wright demonstrated deep knowledge in online payments, e-gold, digital ledgers, and financial technology. Shoaib Yusuf, a former colleague of Craig Wright, testified that Craig's farm was more of a research lab than a farm, where they tested new technologies related to Bitcoin. Donald Lynham, Craig Wright's maternal uncle, testified that he had been granted early access to the Bitcoin white paper before its official release, and had also heard Craig mention his pseudonym Satoshi Nakamoto. Lynham also revealed that Craig's grandfather, Ronald Lynham, had a significant influence on him, and said that Wright cherished the Japanese banknotes from Japan's occupation of the Philippines given to him by his grandfather. Max Lynham, Craig Wright's cousin, later confirmed in his testimony that Craig had asked him and his father, Donald Lynham, to run Bitcoin's earliest node at their family farm in 2008. They mined 6,500 Bitcoins during this time until late 2011. Of all his closest family, mother, uncle, sister, wife, and ex-wife have confirmed he is the inventor of Bitcoin. He has filed more Bitcoin and blockchain patents than any other living person. He is ranked as one of the most highly qualified digital forensic practitioners in the world, and is reported to be the first Australian to receive the SANS Global Award for Forensics, recognising his exceptional achievement in digital forensics, which only a small number of people in the world worldwide have received due to its highly selective recognition of exceptional contributions to the field. He holds master's and doctoral degrees in all topics related to Bitcoin. He has concluded more than 1,200 engagements related to IT security for over 120 Australian international organisations in the private and government sectors, including 15 Commonwealth states. He has provided training and consultation services on digital forensics and cybersecurity to law enforcement agencies and police departments globally. He served as Vice President for the Centre of Strategic Cyberspace and Security Science, collaborating with government bodies to secure cyber systems. He holds high-level industry certifications in the field of information technology and cybersecurity, such as GSE, CISSP, CISA, CISM, CCE, GCFA, GLEG, GREM, and GSPA. He has been a lecturer and researcher in the computer science at Charles Sturt University. He's a supporter of Bitcoin SV, which aims to fulfill his original vision for Bitcoin. BSV is designed to be set in stone with no single entity in charge and no developer control. It enables unbounded scaling and the base layer, on-chain, nano transactions, and programmable smart contracts. He was the first to explain why double hash, why 256K1, why 21 million coins, why hashing or validation, Bitcoin script use, one return bug, and knew about Bitcoin's Turing completeness before anyone else. Yeah, absolutely. And the last bit, this was to Mike Hearn. He said the existing Visa credit card network processes about 15 million internet purchases per day worldwide. Bitcoin can already scale much larger than that with existing hardware for a fraction of the cost. It never really hits a scale ceiling. If you're interested, I can go over the ways it would cope with extreme size. Oh, there we go. Look, he knows it. He knows it. He knows it. That was just well worth going over. Love that. And enthusiastic amateur has said here, Bitcoin, cryptocurrency, NFTs, realistic dollar alternatives, replacements, or just money takers. Not that any fiat currency or even gold is worth valuing, is time fungible. And check this out. I love this. So you, me. So like a made up conversation here. You, I've just bought one Bitcoin. It costs $10,000. Me, I don't get it. It's the it's the latest cryptocurrency. It will replace the dollar. Me, but you paid $10,000 for one Bitcoin. You sure did, and that's one Bitcoin is now worth $12,000. Me, but you still only have one Bitcoin. Yes, but I've made $2,000 profit. Me, of a currency you want to replace. Do you get it? Yeah. So this is what shitcoiners with shit for brains do. They're literally measuring BTC in US dollars that they want to get rid of. Like they're dollar worshipping. They're trading it. They're trading it for US dollars. you know, and this guy's just rightly pointed out. So you've made $2,000 of a currency that you want to replace. Do you get it? Honestly, I bet if you propose that question to Peter McCormack, he'd just look at you with a blank face. You're like, like honestly, they just don't get it because they haven't got the intellectual capacity to think things through, and this is just it. So yeah, quite enjoyed that one there. Cointelegraph has said here, Coreum, how a 7,000 transactions per second blockchain is shaping the future of regulated whatever. Here we go. Shaping the future of regulated finance. Like, honestly, I was just like, what shite is this? So I literally just kind of like went through it, you know, found a link to one of the websites, which was here, like a Medium post. So it says the Coreum native DEX goes live on DevEnt or DevNet with a business-ready API. I was back in February, but anyway, yeah, I was just like, what? Hold on a minute. So you're talking about something that does 7,000 transactions per second, but now you're saying it's a DEX API, like what? You know, a decentralized exchange BS. So I was just like, right, let's have a look on the homepage of their website. So here we go, click on this. It's the homepage. And let's find the smoking gun. It's always buried at the bottom of the page. What you need to look at is the consensus mechanism. So you keep scrolling down because eventually they'll mention it somewhere, and then you find that it's an ERC20 token or some bullshit like that, or pre-mined or proof of stake. You know, they won't mention it. Oh, and I'm sure it's around here somewhere. Sure, it's around here somewhere. I know I've seen it. Come on. Oh. There we go. Boom. Boom. So it says secure transactions at scale. You honestly, this is so funny. Using a bonded proof of stake. All right, so we've got delegated proof of stake, and now we've got bonded proof of stake. Well, let me tell you about any proof of stake, whether it's just proof of stake, whether it's delegated proof of stake, whether it's bonded proof of stake. It is proof of stake. There is no economic competition in proof of stake, no matter what proof of stake it is. Because if it isn't proof of stake, well, it has to be proof of work. But it's not proof of work, which is what economic competition is in a digital sense. It's proof of stake. There is no economic opportunity cost in maintaining the stake. It doesn't matter if it's bonded or delegated. Delegated just means it's delegated means it's been given to you by a centralized source. Bonded proof of stake, who cares? It's such a load of shit. Such a load of shit. It's hilarious. That's literally all you got to look at, you know? And then even if it is proof of work, did it have a centralized starting point? Congratulations, it's a security. Hasn't gone through the process of commoditization. Honestly, just hilarious. So there we go. Let's have a look at some posts here from CSW. So he said, imagine if Bitcoin had been allowed to work as designed. No 1 megabyte cap, no imposed congestion, no artificial scarcity for speculative games. A system that scaled naturally commercially, just as any network should. One protocol, unbroken, no forks. No anarchist councils dictating consensus by politics. Just the rules set in stone, enforced by proof of work, with competition driving performance. It would have outpaced every centralized system, while China builds a digital yuan to track and settle with finality. Imagine if the world already had a Bitcoin doing that. Open, auditable, traceable, but private. Capable of handling trade volumes, micropayments, corporate flows, government payrolls. Instead, developers turned it into a museum piece, and in doing so, they made room for authoritarian systems to take the stage. Had it stayed on course, Bitcoin would be the ledger of global trade now. Not a speculative token, but a backbone. The currency of settlement, not power. The system worked. They just didn't let it run. And he said here, it's not over, not even close. The protocol exists. Exactly, that's what I keep saying. That's why they can't crash the economy yet. The original rules unbroken, unbent, they're still there, waiting. The vision wasn't a dream. It was a blueprint. Scalable, auditable, enforceable. Built to carry the weight of real commerce, not just memes and market cycles. The best is yet to come, because when the noise fades and the games collapse, what remains is what works. Bitcoin, as it was designed, not limited, not politicized, not rewritten, just Bitcoin. And again, yeah, it doesn't matter what ticker symbol it's got. Like, it's just Bitcoin. but BSV sits it all, suits it brilliantly. Oh, look at that. And BSV Columbia said, I would like to know about the second stage of Bitcoin. How's it going? No response. Love it. Love it. Keeping the cards close to his chest. That's what we like. Let's have a little bit of transaction sales. So we're back down to 81%. Well, 81%, it's up at 90 the other day, but it's still 9,910,516 transactions over the last 24-hour period. Some 365 days of Bitcoin history. It's the 6th of April. On the 6th of April 2021, there was an article here from TechSpot saying the digital yuan is China's digital currency that will replace the yuan in its physical form. And April 6, 2022, the Fake Toshi series, The Men Who Are Not Satoshi, Part 1 by Kurt Wottick Jr. was released. So again, that's where just Kurt goes over all those people that the shitcoiners have put up for potentially being the creator of Bitcoin, Satoshi Nakamoto. Hilarious. Still, the main one seems to be Hal Finney, but Hal Finney said, look, I stopped mining, but in hindsight, I wish I'd just simply carried on because he couldn't believe Bitcoin was still around in 2010 because he started mining it in 2009. He was like, oh, to my surprise, it was still there, but he stopped mining it because he said his computers got hot, like, honestly, and there's no reason for him to make sort of that stuff up, and there are plenty of emails, is he a bit psychotic, like emailing himself in order to receive the first transaction from himself? What a joke. What a joke. Right, there we go. That is a 26-minute show. We'll leave it there. Hope you enjoyed it. So as ever, if you enjoy these updates, please ding your donations for your appreciation to either Satoshi at sendme.com, handcash.io, rockwallet.me, simply.cash, relasia.com, or senti.ch. We'll leave it there. Hope you enjoyed it. As ever, be aware, take care, stay safe out there, and we'll see you in the next one.
The king still has one more move.